everyone, welcome to today's class. Today is day 8 of Python Learning Bootcamp. I am Nitish Kumar and today we will be learning errors and exception handling. We all would have encountered many errors by now, and we always try to see a way to reduce the errors and make the code perfect for end users. So today in this class we'll take this way to the next level. So we'll start by segregating or classifying the errors into three types. Okay, those are compile time error, logical error and runtime error. So they are compile time error, logical error and run error. We'll see each of them one by one. Okay, so compile time error. This is an error which we get when we compile when we are compiling the program. That is the syntax error or the grammatical errors which we have done in code, or name error, type error, anything which when we compile it, it will, if there is any error, the compilation stops and the execution of the code also stops and we get an error. So that error is called compile time error. I'll give you example. Say print hello. This is an error because we did not put quotes hello inside the quotes, so we got an error saying name error. This is one type of error. And then if we say, I'll give you another example. X is equal to 5, and then if x is greater than 5, print x. Okay, so here we get syntax error because we did not put colon in here. So during the compile time we'll get this error. Okay, so this is called compile time error. Then logical error are the errors when we get the output, we compare that to our expected output. If the output does not match, then we say there is an logical error. So let's say here we want to write a program for adding two numbers. Adding two numbers. Say a is equal to 8, b is equal to 9. But what happens is I will subtract it. But we wanted addition, we got subtraction. We did not get any compile time error because we did not do any mistakes in grammar, that is in code. We did not miss any indentations. So this is an error. This error is called logical error, where we did not get the output as we expected. Okay, this is an example for logical error. And then last but not the least, we have runtime error. We'll be seeing this type of error in this class. So runtime error is an error which is done by the users. That is, when user gives a input which is not expected, then we get an runtime error, like we'll say a is equal to input, then b input, and we'll say print int a divided by int b. Okay, so here, just a minute, there is, oh, here. So I'll give input as 6 and then I'll give input as 0. So I don't know, I'll give 0. So we got 0 division error, but we did not do any mistake in our coding, right? Still we got an error because of user, but we cannot ignore this. So we have to find a way where even if user does mistake, he should not get error. We have to do something. Okay, for that we use try and exception. So if a user gives unexpected input, to handle that we use except. Okay, so let's say I'll copy and paste this. Say here we'll say try. What it says is try, try, and if there is an error here, like if it cannot try, that is if b is 0, then except 0 division error, then we'll say print please enter, or say enter a non-zero number. Okay, print thank you. So we'll say 4, then 0, we give 0 here. It says enter non-zero number, and then it says thank you. So what is the advantage of try exception is, if we had written here after this line, if we had written any statements like print thank you, then it would have not got executed, because at this line only it has got error. So after this the compiler won't go to the next line, it will stop the program here itself. So this is one disadvantage. So that's why we use try and exception, where here see even though we got error here, we executed this line. Okay, this is why we use try except. So let's say we got another error. Say I'll copy and paste this again. Say here while entering, I'll enter 5 and then I'll enter P, a letter. Then it says value error, and after that it does not execute even that thank you also. So what I'll do is I'll give one more except. Okay, we can give multiple except, that is like this, except value error. Okay, print enter only numbers. Okay, now if we see 1 and then I say I, enter only numbers and thank you. So these are the errors. See, there are many different errors, and here are those errors. All the errors are listed here, like what all are there, everything is there. I'll put this link in the description. Okay, you can go from there. So think, if there is another error, then again it will get stuck there only. So to make it a universal, like if there is another error also, it should handle. What we can do is, we'll do one thing, copy, and then what I'll do is accept exception as E and then print E. So what it does is, whatever exception is there, it'll print it, like only the sentence. That is, if there was like as ex here and there was ex here, then what would have happened is 1 and then 0 if I give, then what, here we have written enter non-zero number. Till here it got printed. After that, the message, that is ex is a variable which contains message, so that message is division by 0. So here it only execute this one. If there is any other error, then it will handle it. So whenever we write a program and we are using try except, we'll accept all the possible errors which we think, like if we are dividing, then we'll see 0 division error, then value error. All these we should write it in first place, and then default or like universal if you want, then in the final you can add it. Okay, if you add it in the first, if you add it here, it won't go to the next lines, so it just executes only this, let's say 1 and then 0. So see, division by 0. This message is more good than this, which we are getting division by 0. If there is an end user who is using our software and he is getting division by 0, he doesn't understand that clearly. When we print enter non-zero number, then he'll understand more clearly, saying okay, we should enter non-zero number. So for that, whatever is there, whatever you think will be there as error, you first write the except for that, and then after all those things you can write this for handling any other exception which you don't know. Okay, this is how it happens. So runtime error can be handled like that. So now here try except method is also used during handling the files, like when we'll be handling the files, and if there is a file, if file is missing, then we cannot open it. So there we use try except method. Say try, say f is equal to open what was file name. Say file, I have created file1.txt. okay, that is the my file name that is present in the same folder as my Jupyter notebook right now. So next is I'll open that file. Open, we'll see okay, I'll give file.txt. okay, except file not found error. Okay, here this is wrong. File not found error, print some files are missing. So this statement looks like it is comfortable for the end users. If we say other errors, then they won't know much about it. They'll start panicking what we have to do. So to make it possible, we'll be using this except say print some file are missing. So here file.1, we did not give file.1, so some file are missing, it says. So we'll see, we'll give 1, and then whenever we start and we whenever we open a file, we have to close it also. Okay, so let's say we'll close it, f dot close. Okay, but what happens if there is an error here, that is the file will say file.txt is not found? What will happen? F dot close is still here. So how to handle this? Let's say here some file are missing, it says, and then f dot close is here. To do that, we use, like, there is another called else. So else part will be executed when there is no error. Let's say try part got executed, then only else part will be executed. So we'll say if file, will do correct, file1.txt, and then here f dot read, that is we'll print f dot read, and then f dot close. Okay, here in my file1.txt there is a text called we found the file. So we got whatever is there inside the file. So like this we use try except else, okay, to close all the files. If try runs, then only else will run. And for this we while we'll be using files, then so if we don't have this, if we don't have else, if we directly close it, even though if we get error here, then f dot close, there will be an error saying what is f, because we had defined f only here, right? So if we directly say f dot close, because here try would have not run, because there was an error here, like if file is not found, then there will be an error, so this will not run at that time. That will be difficult, so that's why we use else. Okay, so next is finally. Finally is whatever the important statement is there, that has to be executed, even though if error is there, or if we do not find any error, still that final that statement should run. All those statements will be under finally. Say try, we'll copy that and paste it here. Okay. Okay, and then here we'll say finally print this. Print will always run, even if file is there, even file is not there, still it will run. See, some file are missing, and then it says important statements. If we say here file 1, still it works. So whatever it is, finally will run where even though there is an error, or if there is no error. So this is try, except, else, and finally, which we use for runtime errors. So now we'll see another keyword called raise. That is when we want to create our own errors, like raise an error, then we use RAIS, raise. Okay, let's say age is equal to 15, and then if age is less than 18, then raise exception you are not adult. Okay, and here if I run this, okay, 1 minute, what I'll do is print pi. So if I run this, till here it will run, because here we get an error, because age is less than 18, so we get an error. See, we get an error, and this print by is not executed. So this is like real error which you have created. So to run the below one, we can put this inside a try catch. Okay, say here try, and that will do with this. After that, accept, say exception as E, print E. We'll see. Maybe that won't work, or maybe, see, you have created an error saying you are not adult. So when exception is given, that is, even message also says you are not adult by. Okay, this last line also worked. So this is how we raise our own exception. Okay, so that's all for today. We saw all the errors, different types of error. If you want some more errors, like whatever you want to know about more about errors, I'll be giving this link in the description. You can go through that. We saw how to handle all the errors, and we learned try, except, else, and finally. And we also know how to create our own errors. So that's all for today. Thank you.